Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best Nikon lenses.
Starting at number 5.
Sigma 18 to 300 mm. Measuring 79 by 102 mm and weighing 585 g, this is one of the bigger and heavier lenses on this list, but it's still manageable and feels well balanced, even on lighter DSLR bodies. It certainly goes large on zoom range, with a telephoto reach equivalent to 450 mm in full-frame terms, although it can't match the Tamron 16 to 300 mm lens for ultra-wide viewing angles. Autofocus is a little pedestrian, and it would be nice if the manual focus ring didn't rotate during AF. However, thanks to the inclusion of top-grade FLD, fluorite low dispersion elements, this lens outguns many of its rivals for sharpness.
Coming at number 4.
Nikon AFS-DX. This is actually the MK2 edition of Nikon's 18 to 200 mm VR lens. However, both editions have the same optical design and second-generation VR system, which includes automatic panning detection in normal mode, plus an additional active mode for overcoming increased physical vibrations. The most obvious update is that the MK2 features a zoom lock switch. Sharpness at 200 mm is better than from the smaller of Nikon's 218 to 300 mm lenses, but barrel distortion at 18 mm is equally poor. There's less color fringing, autofocus performance is faster, and the addition of active VR mode is a bonus.
At number 3.
Nikon NIKKOR Z DX. This lens is a good everyday shooter for users of DX format Nikon Z mirrorless cameras, a category that currently comprises the Nikon Z50 and Nikon ZFC. The Nikon Z DX 18 to 140 mm f/3.5-6.3 VR is essentially a mirrorless remake of the firm's popular AFS DX 18 to 140 mm VR lens for APS-C DSLRs, though it lacks a few features of that lens, like VR on-off and auto/manual focus switches, not to mention a weather-sealed construction. Minor gripes aside, this is a capable all-purpose lens that delivers impressive performance, and is a credible alternative to switching between a Nikon Z DX 16 to 50 mm f/3.5-6.3 VR and a Nikon Z DX 50 to 250 mm f/4.5-6.3 VR lens.
Number 2 of my list.
Nikon Z 28 to 400 mm. If you need even more zoom power than is offered by the previous lens, then this new Z-mount super zoom will fit the bill nicely. Offering double the telephoto focal length, the Nikon Z 28 to 400 mm f/4-8 VR brings you from wide angle, just, to super tele with a twist of its zoom ring and an extreme extension of the barrel. You may be alarmed at first by just how physically long this lens gets when you zoom it, but once you get used to it, you'll find yourself appreciating the versatility and the consistently strong image quality it offers. There are other trade-offs, naturally. Having 28 mm rather than 24 mm at the wide end might not sound like much of a difference, but you do notice it. What's probably more significant though is the fact that if once you zoom all the way into 400 mm, you'll have a maximum aperture of just f/8 to work with, though the stabilization helps here. If you need the maximum zoom range, this is the buy. Otherwise, you may find more value in the faster, wider, and lighter Z 24 to 200 mm f/4-6.3 VR.
And number 1.
Nikon Z 24 to 200 mm. Sometimes as photographers, we have a very long wish list when it comes to lenses. Even though we have interchangeable lens cameras, we hanker after a single lens that can do pretty much everything, with a mighty zoom range that stretches from serious wide-angle viewing to long telephoto reach. And we want it in a compact and lightweight build, with speedy autofocus and strong stabilization that enables consistent sharpness in handheld shooting. This Z-mount super zoom ticks every box. It has a tough, weather-sealed construction but weighs in at just 570 g, and offers the kind of zoom range normally requiring two separate lenses. Designed for full-frame FX Z series mirrorless cameras, such as the Z6 II, Z5 and Z7 II, it also works well enough on the DX format models like the Z50, with an effective focal length range of 36 to 300 millimeters. Naturally, what you lose in wide-angle ability you gain in telephoto reach. Autofocus is very fast, highly accurate, and practically silent, while VR is worth about 4.5 stops in beating camera shake. All in all, it's a hugely versatile lens for any Z-series camera.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.